So yeah, let's start with that replay. Um, by the way, guys, just to remind you, if you need any if you want to ask any questions for anyone who just joined, feel free to open the chat and message your questions there. But yeah, let's start with this. Okay, so to just give you a quick info on all those guys here, you might be familiar with a lot of the players in here. They're this really stacked lobby, to be honest. They have Fi. This is Overwatch League, Saper. I think this guy we just reviewed in our previous masterclass, and Sparker. I think I used one of the examples. They're really good Psylocke and DPS player in general, and I think their play versus the other. I recognize some of the names. I think we're gonna be able to watch. Yeah, so this guy over here playing the thing, and there was also, I believe, Chasm. Yeah, Chasm is pretty good player. Those names I recognize. I think Nicomancer Master is another one, but yeah, I don't know them as much. Okay, so we'll start with just going over Magneto. They started playing Magneto somewhere around this point, just once they captured. Yeah, they actually swapped over here. So we're gonna start reviewing their gameplay. So we're gonna watch for two things, really. We need to watch, are they synchronizing with the rest of their team? And how they fight for important positions a lot of times. And this is the essentials of all the good tanking. So what Magneto is really good at, you are actually able to absorb all the pressure while maintaining this. Because you have all those defensive cooldowns, it allows you to maintain the lane you're controlling, but you don't have a lot of mobility actually. It's just mostly about the sustain. Yeah, this is in a sense main tank. Yeah, main tank is just anybody who is able to absorb a lot of pressure, kind of able to easily hold the space for longer periods of time. And there are also off tanks with which you're able to have more bursts of pressure. You're able to just go in and out real quick, and this way you're also able to control space. Okay, this is more of a Magneto is more of a main tank. A lot of about just absorbing pressure, and they swapped. I think they played Groot at the start, but then they swapped to Magneto. But see, a lot of what they're gonna be doing is, first off, trying to just target the most active angle on the enemy team. This is what we want when we're trying to tank. And I'll just kind of go back real quick. I want to show you a few things. So first off, there's nobody who they are looking to shoot, right? But eventually, there might be dangerous angles on the enemy team. Anybody who might take space. Yeah, maybe there's going to be a storm somewhere on the angles, just using more verticality. Maybe there's going to be a Winter Soldier taking the space somewhere. That is something what we want to shut down. Yeah, more dangerous angles, you want to put more pressure on. So we just want to watch who does the most pressure in the current moment. This might be hard to judge sometimes, but if you're just able to watch it based on the positions, based on the cooldowns being used, then you can make a decision of what you're trying to tank in the moment. Okay, so first off, they're really good, like the best tank players, they're really good at just recognizing what is about to happen in the moment, anticipating the big damage. Yeah, the damage, well, just the pressure from the enemy team is not all about their position and cooldowns. A lot of it is also based on the ultimates too, when they have those ready. Yeah, so might seem like the best players, they're really good at reaction, just reacting to the big stuff, but it's a lot about anticipation too. Yeah, Doctor Strange Ultimate, they're trying to be unpredictable, maybe look to go somewhere above, so this is something they can be expecting and just trying to block all that stuff. But yeah, there's quite a lot of big ultimates on might be being used, and you can just try to absorb the pressure as a tank. Okay, so this is where they start taking space and kind of just hold space with the defensive. Once we don't have the defensive up, especially, we just want to try to lean towards the safety, lean towards the cover. But honestly, at any point of time, whenever you play tank, you always have to treat cover as your first defensive cooldown as much as possible. And you'll see, especially as Magneto, because you have that downtime between the shots, you're just able to constantly go behind the cover and then peek again. Go behind the cover and then peek again. And this is what you will see them doing quite a lot. So they kind of instantly, as much as possible, trying to use some sort of natural cover. They're trying to peek out and shoot quite a lot. And this is what you will see them do there, for example. You see this slide just going to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left with their shots, so they're not exposed to too much damage. You use a tank, you need to control space where most of your team is able to be active. So, for instance, I don't want to be exposed to all of that rush in the back when I could be just exposing myself to this. Yeah, if those guys, let's say, maybe there's Invis woman who is distracted with me right now, and the rest of my team is able to shoot that invisible woman. This is what I want as a tank. I just want to make sure I'm absorbing pressure while the rest of my team is controlling space. Yeah, so with this in mind, yeah, let's just keep watching. I'm gonna go over more and more examples. So there's a lot of peek shooting, trying to use the cover, and just looking after the most aggressive member is a Magneto. Okay. Yeah, now there's an Invis ultimate, and we also got our Loki ultimates up, and right now there's quite a lot of happening. Yeah, might be quite chaotic, but even in this moment, it's still, you gotta recognize who is more dangerous. Yeah, so who they shooting right now? They're shooting this Bucky, who's more in the front line, right? There's something what we gotta shut down right away. The more dangerous positions, the more dangerous angles. And again, my team, the rest of my team, they're able to control that stuff. Yeah, sometimes people just maybe tend to tunnel vision or not the best targets, but it's just, you need to find what's convenient for you to shoot right now as a tank while maintaining that frontline pressure. Okay. As Magneto, it's really important to mention, because you have those stacks here, that is something what can displace an enemy, and it will allow you to control space better. So whenever somebody's taking space on the enemy, they can try to just use the stacks on them and really control space effectively. Okay, let's just skip this. There's quite a lot of happening, and then this is gonna be the next fight when they start applying pressure on the this choke over here. Yeah, it seems like the enemy think they overextended a little bit. We can try to get a kill on them, and later just pushing up and take space, pushing up and take its space. Okay, and there's a lot. You see that again, a lot of peek shooting. Yeah, I don't want it to be exposed to unnecessary damage. Doesn't matter what tank you play. Yeah, it's just, I constantly want to have my cooldowns up for the exact moment when most of my team is doing something. Yeah, let's pay attention to this part. See how confident, how disciplined they are with their cooldowns. Yet a lot of players, they would just use their shields right away and maybe even use their shift to just kind of compensate for the bad position, but they're being really patient. You can, in a way, just bait the enemy to push your angle, to push your space, and then later try to shut down them with your defensive cooldown as a tank. It's really, really good. So maybe we just trying to, I see big damage incoming. Yeah, there's just Doctor Strange pushing me, and at the same time, with Magneto, you also got to keep in mind that a lot of your pressure is about the stacks. Yeah, it's just, I want to push the enemy out the way. So you usually use the stacks first, and then later you can pop the shield as well. But do it in the space where most of your team is active. By the way, it seems like the Loki ultimate is back there, but yeah. Okay. Watch the attention as well. What they're gonna do. So why did he use his bubble on himself there? Was it to push up further without taking damage? Yeah, basically, we're trying to take space. As a tank, you have to understand that you are not following up on the team's pressure, but you're rather trying to take space where your team is able to do something. So why are we taking space? Yeah, there are a lot of things. First off, we gotta kill. So we gotta push that choke, we gotta try to do something. That's one. Another thing is, why it's on ourselves? Because there's nobody else who can be more active on my team, right? I don't want to just just simplify it always. You want to bubble anybody who is tanking, absorbing the most pressure. And it can be your teammate or it can be you. So right now, if there's nobody else taking space, but it's me, then I just gotta bubble myself. It's alright. But you also gotta confirm. You always gotta confirm, is my team, are they behind me? Are they actually able to control space with me? I'm pushing and taking space, but meanwhile, I want to be confident that the rest of my team, they're also going to do something. Yeah, like we can see this angle over here. They're trying to just take that high ground. The rest of my team is also behind me, trying to push the space over here as well. Stuff like that. Yeah, by the way, guys, do you have any more questions? Yeah, maybe anything you want to ask me in addition? As all good questions, I really would be glad to just elaborate on anything. I know maybe there's might be quite a lot of stuff as well, but yeah. If you guys want, you can just unmute as well. Feel free to ask any questions. Yeah, see, there's one person typing. There's no questions, it's fine. But yeah, I will read the chat. Okay, let's keep going.
I have a question.
Oh, you have a question? Yeah?
When you're playing like on the angle trying to take natural cover, let's say like you have, another tank on the right of you holding the space. What happens, like what position would you take if one of your teammates get picked off in the front line with you?
Yeah, when
Like,
you...
would you back up in that position or would you try to keep holding the space?
Yeah, this is a good question. A lot of it is all about understanding the tempo of the fight in the current moment. Usually, if you recognize then that you have lower tempo, okay, and maybe to simplify, what tempo is based on? First off, it's based on how many people you have alive and what kind of ultimates are being used at the moment. So I usually really like it to simplify it to this. Okay, I just need my drawing tool. Give me 1 second. Let's just open it up. I will draw you the simple model you can try to follow whenever you can. So
Okay.
I usually try to do this. When I'm thinking about the tempo, it's all about the score of the current fight. So let's say now I have 6 people, and this ultimate is bugged, by the way. So yeah, we just don't pay attention to that. We have 6 people up, and they are 4 people currently. So the score of the fight is 6 versus 4. So this allows me to understand, we have high tempo because of the numbers, and this allows you to push and take space. Usually, if you kind of look into, whenever somebody says, okay, I got a pick, or maybe there are 2 picks, yeah, what that means for you a lot of times, you can try to take space, or it can also be other way around. Let's say we have a score of 4, like that enemy red team, they have a score of 4, they actually have to give up space, okay? But I'm just gonna throw at you another variable. Yeah, because we can track everything based on the numbers. This can be your first simple exercise. Yeah, whenever I coach someone, I just tell them, okay, start tracking numbers if you want to understand the tempo. But another thing, you can also try to track ultimates being used in the current moment. So what I just tell players to do, because it's really hard to track everything and it's just the games are so fast-paced, just whenever someone is using ultimate, just do like +1 score. Why I do it this way? Because usually one ultimate a lot of times equals 1 kill, or just you can force amount of resources which allow you to get a kill. Okay, every ultimate is different. Obviously, some ultimates are cheaper, some ultimates are stronger, but doesn't matter that much, to be honest. Just most of the time, generally speaking. Yeah, obviously, if we looking at the highest rank tier player, obviously that matters for them. Yes, some ultimates are better to start with, some ultimates are stronger, some ultimates are cheaper. Doesn't matter to us that much. So what you gotta be doing is just looking at the how many people are alive and what ultimates being used, and then look at the actual score. So actually the actual score right now is 6v5 in this case, yeah, because they're also using the storm ultimate, if it's not bugged, of course. I mean, I actually skipped that part. Okay, are they using it? Yeah, so they actually do. Okay, so the score is 6v5. The enemy team, what they're trying to do there, they're trying to even out the chances to actually win. Yeah, they're trying to kind of, because the blue team, they're trying to push them. They're trying to make sure they're even chances, even forces, kind of. Maybe if you able to also get a pick with this, yeah, to make the score even, like 5v5, I think this could be reasonable. If they're not gonna be able to get a pick, then this ultimate is kind of the waste. I mean, maybe they recognize there's a good opportunity to do something, yeah, but it seems like, yeah, actually it didn't work out quite well for them because there's a spark with another ultimate they trying to, again, because the red team is pushing now, the blue team answers with something. It's like waves, you know, you go forward, then something happens, okay, there's a bigger force, and then you have to pull back, and then if you have some resource, you can also answer and just push the enemy out again. It's just constantly the game of resources. Yeah, I hope this answers the question. It's just, so while be pushing your taking space, it's just all pulling back. It's just based on the score of the fight. Just look at the score of the fight and understand what you have currently, and it can make it easy for you to actually decide what to do in the current moment. This is really universal for any tank. And for what space you're gonna hold, to just specify, it all depends on the situation, really. To simplify, just hold in the space where most of your team can be active. That's it. So
I've
if I...
got a question.
Oh, yeah?
So take for example, if you have two shield tanks and their opposition is very aggro, so they have a Groot, a Thor, or even a dive tank.
Okay.
And let's say they're taking a constant amount of space to where you have to always back up all the time because your risk of getting a pick. How would you successfully be able to deal with that as a tank in a sense?
Yeah. So the question is, yeah, what do you do with a strong frontline pressure, right? This is your question, yeah? Because I assume, because there's a Groot,
Yes.
so there's a lot of frontline pressure in you. Usually, what you do is you just need to find a way to, typically, if there's more frontline pressure, first off, take an angle so we're able to just go past that frontline pressure. If I'm able to set up early somewhere, for example, Magneto, a lot of players, they ignore the fact that they can actually be on the high ground, but you can actually do that and just go past that enemy tank who has no mobility, especially more frontline pressure like walls, for example. They can wall you off. Yeah, this is scary, but you're still going to be holding the same space, just trying to create another angle. Sometimes you can also try to bait out stuff. Let's say there's a wall, I can intentionally just walk on a space where I might get walled and try to bait it and then walk back, kind of. Maybe you have something in mind. Yeah, maybe like I don't know, even just pushing you with the ultimate, or maybe sometimes it can just be playing cover really well. Like I pretend that I push through the choke, and then I instantly pull back, and
Yeah,
this way.
like that's kind of, sometimes that's what I do. Sometimes with Groot is I'll try to bait out a wall and sort of
Yes.
try to understand his range of his walls.
Yes, exactly. I definitely would look for options. If they have more frontline pressure, definitely look for options what it can do with bottom up control, ideally. This is always...
Is that sometimes a
Yeah.
case of where you're a bit more reliant than on your DPS to sort of do something, or is that, or can you still do something as a tank in a sense?
Yeah, you still do it. So the thing is, a lot of people, they kind of think about the tank like a frontline guy, and we just hide behind the tank. Your job as a tank, it's not just protect your teammates. First off, it's really, I always say that you gotta use your resources selfishly on yourself, and because I'm actually using resources effectively on myself, I'm absorbing the active pressure from the enemy. This way, my team is able to stay alive, and I'm not necessarily have to stay with them. It's just all about doing my job at the good position where I can be, and because I'm absorbing so much pressure, it's just my team can live, and it's always it's always interesting. But the hero shooter has been the same thing, and Overwatch, like this game too, if you're just able to actively pressure the enemy and make them look at you in the right space, that's what you want as a tank. A lot of it is just trying to absorb pressure effectively. And yes, sometimes obviously there are times when you play in the front line, like maybe there's a big ultimate. Okay, I can just stay there. Holding chokes is another thing. You are also just really important to hold chokes a lot of times and stop the card, because it's effective, kind of your powerful position in a way. But yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, any other questions? Let me see. Why was it optimal for him to swap to Mark from Strange? Oh, he was Groot. You know why I think he went? Well, there are multiple reasons. Well, first off, I don't think Groot is his comfort pick at the moment. I'm not sure. I was not studying his entire play, but I think it's that. And second, I don't think you can wall a lot of that space effectively. Well, you could maybe technically wall that somewhere in between where the payload's moving, right? But there's also a lot of space where you can take just angles. So I not necessarily think it's might be the best thing. There might be also other reasons which I don't know, but yeah, okay. Just my thinking there. I think they also have, from what I see, they also have reasonable amount of poke damage too. So if I look at the enemy team, okay, so there's a thing. They also have Loki, Storm. Yeah, so there's just might be also something. Yeah, some sort of damage you can have to just constantly push the enemy out and do not allow the other short range guys maybe to take space effectively. Kind of not the most ideal, I think, to have the Black Panther, but you still, I think this game again. I don't think compositions like matters like a lot still matters, but yeah, it's just first off, I think it's your performance, how you play with the composition you got, and this just gets so much more value. Yeah, okay. Is there a difference in taking space using a non-shield tank such as Groot instead of Mag, or does it impact what angles you're able to hold? Yeah, it definitely impacts the angles you want to hold. That is something I'm gonna talk about more later. But to just give you simple answer on that topic is, if I have mobility, I gotta utilize mobility to take space. Usually, I just want to go somewhere, and this way, I start absorbing attention, and you're also able to control the important angles effectively. That is what we will see a lot on Thor. By the way, I got the good replay, one of the best players on Thor currently. They use their mobility to take space, hold good angles, and set up. On more stationary tanks, your angles are more closer towards the team. You just simply don't have opportunities to take those deep angles. You kind of go for more flanky options, take off angles. This is just more. That's why you might just notice, yeah, you more in front line, but still find an option. As a Magneto, you need to open up the longer range or mid range angles, yeah, because you're not like a sniper, right? But yeah, and is there a difference in taking space using non-shield tank? Well, so there is a difference, but to be honest, fundamentally, you still do the same. You
Good,
still
how are
do.
you?
Oh, so sorry. I think that was.
I have just a quick thing. So I'm building out the second slide on the report. Just the EIP calculations.
I think Daldy's
And
in Discord.
taking a look at, I guess, like how we structured it last year. So I have it
Oh,
structured pretty
I
much
think
the
we
same
gotta
way,
just. Yeah, I
but
think they just
one,
not
it
talking to
said
us,
the
right?
word is
Okay,
off.
let me just
I'm using
maybe mute
the same
them.
formula.
I
So
think for
all of
now
these should
it's
Yeah,
fine
you can
though.
server
this
mute
is
'em.
kind of like my chip column.
Yeah, just for now. Yeah, just Dal, if you're listening, just make sure you will remind me. I will unmute you later, but it's fine. It's all good. Okay. The question, difference taking space, non-shield tanks such as Groot. Yeah, okay, difference in utility and range, of course, as well. Yeah, we just gotta poke out the enemy, and then later we can try to move up. Wherever it's Groot, you're more brawl tanks, so you're trying to just push in with the walls, taking space. But overall, it's just still same idea supply. Yeah, make sure most of your team is active. Make sure you shut down the most powerful most powerful positions. That's what I want you guys to pay attention to. It's just, this is the essentials of the tanking. It sounds that easy. Fight for good positions and make sure you synchronize with team, but there are a lot of details. And I think it's just really important. If you know the fundamentals, it makes it easy for you to understand what you gotta do on the tank. I'm thinking, what if we let's just watch a little bit of attack. I think we've been on defense for quite long. I just want to watch the attack a little bit, and then we're gonna watch the Thor as well to give you another idea. Okay? Yeah, just kind of another perspective of the tanking, because on Thor you have the more mobility. Thank you for the answer. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, if there are any more questions, let me know. Okay, so first off, the blue team starts with taking powerful position. Yeah, power position there is usually going for the TP. They're going inside the building there, and Fancy will be rotating with the rest of their team, of course, with the Phi. Yeah, and from here we'll see what angles we're trying to control, what we just trying to constantly push out from us. Yeah, so first off, it's important to control this high ground. Yeah, we don't want the enemy team to be stuck in here, and later you can try to maybe control this angle, or maybe there's another angle over here, stuff like that. So it's just constantly effective tanking. I want to push space, and when most of my team is able to do something, when I start absorbing pressure from the rest of these guys, I actually start using my cooldowns as well. See, right now they're using bubble on themselves. Why? Because they're in the most frontlining at the moment. They just mostly receive a lot of pressure. What are they gonna shoot now, by the way? What do you think they're gonna be shooting? You see, there's a lot of stuff happening. Yeah, they probably might be shooting this out, but this is also important. You gotta deal with that guy later. Yeah, 100%. Let me see. Assuming taking space is all about timing. If so, can you show some examples of what that look like? Yeah, it's just anytime. For example, here, if I'm pushing this space, I want to make sure the rest of my team, they're able to do something. Like right now, this is kind of simple because you all guys TP'd in, so this is fine. They're all kind of synchronized, but yeah, we can also watch this later. I will show you some good examples. So see, okay, they actually found the killable target. This can be your exception. This is something I always tell people. Obviously, you need to go after the most active angle in a way, but also watch out as an exception rule what you can get a kill on. If I know this is something what's killable, maybe based on their positioning, or maybe they use their cooldowns, I can just go after them. But right after they dealt with this, they have to also keep in mind this guy later. So like they will instantly see, okay, they actually drop, but yeah, if they would stay there, just instantly you need to shoot an angle. You maybe don't have as much mobility, but yeah, they're trying to keep some attention. You're trying to push that Bucky away with the shots, and maybe we can also try to do it's also your stacks, what you can do with them. And I want you to notice, yeah, about the timing as well. I'm not picking out all that space. Yeah, I'm not just picking out the entire point, but I'm trying to pick out that effective angles, yeah, where my team is actually gonna be able to do stuff. Yeah, you can still do a little bit of poking, but see, it's just not. I just want you to watch this, how effectively they're using this high ground over there. So a lot of people would just peek out this way, it would be exposed to a lot of stuff, but I don't want to expose myself too much. I just want to make sure my defensive resources will not be forced. And when my team is actually going to be doing something, then I can support them. Here we actually saw, I think the Sparker got hooked there. Yeah, what happened there? Yeah, I think they did, yeah. Yeah, exactly. They got kind of grabbed. What was that hook, by the way? Did you see that? They literally, I want to watch that again.
Yeah, it looked like he was under.
Yeah, he's just, yeah, this is the tag. You kind of just gotta, first off, get the hook above the high ground, and then you drop it so it pulls them with them. Yeah, this is good. This is good. But yeah, those are really good players. I just want to show you, by the way, the rank of, and just the 5, by the way, so you guys know. Right now they are, Fincy. They're right now top 5, it shows with the character, and 1 above all rank, and all of these guys here, they're really, really high rank, obviously, or Watch League players, really. Yeah. Okay, so we're trying to just first off control the power position, and later we will push the point. A lot of people, by the way, they would just kind of instantly drop on the point, but see, there's a lot of poking going on, especially as Magneto. You cannot take space right away and brawl people. Yeah, so first off, we forcing out important cooldowns, and later we can try to actually take space when we have an advantage. And it's based on what I mentioned before. Remember the score of the fight. Yeah, if I look at it now, the score of the fight is 6 versus 5, and the enemy, they actually don't have a good positioning either, and they're also using their cooldowns. They're out of a lot of defensive. Like this guy, for instance, really close. So that is something they can punish. So the score of the fight is gonna be 6v4 real soon, and we can just take more and more space. Okay, and there's constant attention on who does the most. Yeah. So I'm not paying attention to the tanks right now. This is the thing. This is the Magneto. This can do more damage to me. The Loki is gonna be more dangerous. So I want to make sure to shut it down first as a tank, and later I can just try to tank some of these guys. They obviously do some of the pressure. It's just they don't have as much damage capabilities right now. Okay, I'm just gonna read one more question. So for Strange TP, would it be better to just use it first fight, especially on escort maps, or would it be better to wait to fight for ults? This one depends, but typically, if you know the map is really hard to take, like this one, I don't think it's too easy. If you just walk, simply, I don't think it's easy to take the space. So I think a lot of times if you just start on attack, it's really valuable. You just try to take space, set up yourself on a power positions, which allows you to kind of spread out on the map a little bit more. I can take this angle here, I can take this space over here, I can try to contest this. It's just typical thing for... yeah, for escort maps, I would say so, probably, yeah, because escort, you, let's just say, on control maps, two teams are walking towards each other, so I think it's less valuable. You sometimes don't know, as well, where the enemy team is walking, so it's kind of, like, awkward. Yeah, you mostly just want to, on those maps, I think, try to set up for ultimates. On escort, yeah, I think it's generally going to be more trying to take space, especially in attack. Yeah, I want to take space with that TP and just set up my team. Just do what's valuable in the moment. Ultimates definitely give you great value, but let's just say if you don't have ultimates, then you just gotta do something else. And if you have that opportunity, then take it and do it right away. Don't have to wait for the perfect opportunity. I think as a tank or anybody, any role. Okay, I think I just want you to also show one of the Thor examples, and yeah, if there are gonna be more questions, feel free to ask those. But yeah, we just gonna use same ideas so far. It's trying to synchronize with the rest of our team and fight for power positions. Well, I will pay attention to the timing examples a little bit more, especially on the high mobility character. It's just so crucial. But yeah, at any point of time, if most of my team is able to do stuff, I can also take space with them. Okay, I'm gonna use this replay over here. By the way, all the videos, because those are just replays, and I think they're gonna be expired over time. All of the videos are also gonna be saved. I record every example, and I save it on my YouTube, because I use that in my actual sessions to just kind of emphasize the concepts, maybe show some good examples. But yeah, we're gonna use Sure 4. And let me just show you their rank. Yeah, so their name here is actually White Among Us. I don't know why, but yeah. Sure 4 is Overwatch League player as well. I forgot, yeah, I've read about with the team names, but yeah, they've been on, I think, 2 different teams, if I'm not mistaken. And their win rate is pretty impressive, I think, 70% and 23 hours at the moment. Pretty decent, I think, just controlling, using space. Back in the days, they've been mostly playing DPS though, so you guys know. They have a lot of experience with DPS. That's why I think they also do quite well in Thor, because you have this bursty opportunities to just go in, out, and the timings of your engagements are, yeah, it's so important. But yeah, because you're playing the tank, you just need to start the pressure. You need to start absorbing pressure in the areas where your team is able to do something. And it's gonna be really interesting. Okay, let me just watch this, and here we go. Yeah, this is gonna be another example for you guys. Okay, let me see. So they have eating pizza right now. I think this is the Iron Fist one trick, and they've also been playing some of the other. Let me just skim through a little. Okay, so right there we got eating pizza. This is Iron Fist. They also got playing versus, yeah, those players are pretty high ranked. I don't know if they're in a team or not, but yeah, I'm know for sure that the Sure 4 is definitely one of the experienced players here, if not the most. Okay, let's just start from attack and using same ideas. Oh, they started as Torch, and I think they swapped later. Yeah, so we're just gonna look at, yeah, we're gonna look at different. Oh, actually, give me one moment. I think it's wrong replay. Yeah, I think it's wrong replay. Okay, I think it's not the correct one, because there are 2 replays I've been saving, and I wanted you to show the new map, because the new map I think might be more interesting for everybody to watch. Yeah, there's just so much stuff you can do. Okay, let me just do it with you guys. So there's a Central Park. Yeah, we're just gonna aim for the Central Park and find him playing Thor over there. Okay, so those are recent games. Okay, we got Central Park 2 and 3. Okay, this is Thor, and there's gonna be also another one over here. Okay, I think should be at the bottom. Spider Islands. This is Royal Palace. Yeah, if not, I have the video recorded. If not, we can just watch the video recorded. Yeah, I think it's not there anymore. Okay, let's just... Okay, so this is from 1 week ago. I think I missed it. Okay, Midtown, Burning. Okay, yeah, let's just watch the video then. I will find the replay later. Maybe I'm blind right now, but yeah. Gotta go? Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. If you're gonna have any questions, let me know. But yeah, I'm glad to have you here. Yeah, let me just use the video then, the video example. Okay, 1 second, guys. We're gonna be starting with this. Okay, all the links are in the notes, but yeah, right here, we got them on Thor. This is Central Park. A lot of people actually struggle with taking space. I remember in my scrims, we actually played this map, and a lot of teams, they just been stacking on the choke there, but use a tank, and I mentioned it before, you don't have to rely all the time on trying to do the pressure in the front line. If you have capabilities to take space by using your mobility, then do that. Yeah, all essentials are still the same. Using heavily using cover, and synchronizing with my team, and fighting with powerful positions, yeah, for important angles. And on Thor, because you have such a big mobility, it's going to be so important to do so. Okay, so we're starting off. Yeah, let me just show you guys real quick. By the way, they do this in rotation on the right side. That's something what a lot of flankers could benefit out of. The rest of their team is actually going to be pushing through the main, and see what they're trying to do. Yeah, because you're tanking, they start applying pressure, and all of the attention of the enemy team diverts towards us. Now, how to make sure this is good? Yeah, we also need to understand that the rest of our team, they're also able to do something. Yeah, so you got to be really careful, and this is where they're trying to stabilize a little, try to exist on those flying options. They're gonna be pushed and everything. This might happen, but as long as their team can also try to do something and take space, this is good. And you also might even die sometimes as a tank too. You just, because you're absorbing so much pressure, maybe keep the enemy team distracted, and meanwhile your team's taking valuable space. This is also possible. Just make sure you're synchronizing all of that. It's a little bit harder to do on those dive characters, but you can always watch. If you maybe some of these guys would have eye tracker, their attention is really on those guys over there. It's really important to just make sure those are gonna do something first, and then later we can try to push and take space. Okay, so they're kind of being patient there. Yeah, they recognize, okay, maybe I can look for another setup position, just try to go from different angle. The rest of their team is ready. Unfortunately, Magneto got picked, so this is not ideal. But yeah, they're still trying to synchronize, maybe do something over there, try to pull some attention towards them. And there's a lot of good mechanics as well, I think, just with the way they trying to close the distance with their hammer. They start behind the corner, see how they use cover. They're not exposing themselves before the actual fight starts. Starting behind the cover, using third-person view, and then later we're gonna go in, yeah? When our team is ready. Unfortunately, 2 of our teammates died. So I think they might lose this fight. Well, most likely they will lose this fight, but still, they're doing their job. They divert a lot of the attention, and sometimes you can even just mentally distract these guys and make them push you in an unfavorable space, yeah, which creates more opportunities for your teammates. But yeah, their teammates died. It's fine. Later, we start off with, and you will see them. I think they will start playing frontline, but why? So first off, Star-Lord is dead. And second, you actually have the rest of your team is actively taking space, so you don't want to have the downtime. Yeah, let's say if possible, we're trying to set up in the angle, but it's always important to. The most important, I think, is to make sure to synchronize the pressure with the rest of your team. But their attention, watch where it's gonna be. I'm not just pushing whatever I see, but I always trying to find the most scary angle on the enemy team. And here, there's a Namor taking an angle. Maybe there's gonna be. I don't think Star-Lord is good to push at Thor, but yeah, maybe Bucky can be okay because they're more stationary targets. I'm first as a tank pushing those important angles. And Thor is really good at punishing this. Yeah. So instantly just trying to get rid of the Namor, using your high burst opportunities to control space. So it's first off, not just waiting for the enemy to do the action, but yeah, make sure you kind of set up and then punish the most active person. Okay? Does the same thing over and over again, really. As a good tank, we always do that. Now, they have a good some time to just try and set up, maybe take a little bit of space because we have that advantage with numbers. At Thor specifically, what you can do before the fight as well is you can farm some ult charge just before. I'm usually calling it poke phase. When we have the time before the fight, you can try to just get some ult charge, but later you can set up again. Make sure you have the good angles options. It just probably would be really beneficial for them to control this high ground over there. Yeah, controlling powerful positions is a must. Reminds me about how I thought about taking space on D.Va in Overwatch. Yeah, a lot of similarities, really, right? It's so important. We just trying to divert the attention. Yeah, and this is D.Va is an off tank as well. Well, when Overwatch 1 was the thing, yeah, 6v6, D.Va was an off tank, and a lot of the attention they could be diverting, controlling space is how you apply pressure as a tank. Yeah, this is how you control space. Just be active. This is a lot of your peeling for your teammates. And the Thor, this exact thing you gotta do. It's just synchronizing the rest. Okay, they're waiting for their stacks to come out. Later, they're just going for the poke. But eventually, yeah, this is unfortunate. I don't think they want to get hooked here. But yeah, it happened. But after, when the fight starts, let's try to set up ourselves, make sure we abuse that mobility, and fight for important angles. What this guy's there? Yeah, it's just something we gotta push first. Well, maybe it's Magneto, maybe it's gonna be Namor. You need to deal with more just anybody taking off angles, I think, especially on Thor. Like right now, we got rid of the Magneto. Maybe we can try to also find where's the Bucky, where is the Namor, if he able to shoot them. Unless, as an exception rule, unless you recognize there's an easy kill opportunity, which I think they kind of recognize. Well, this maybe Magneto is slightly out of position, they got hooked in, so maybe we can just try to focus them a little bit more. But they are starting using the ultimate, and later they just swap the target. I think it's fine. There's quite a lot of damage they took from the ultimate there. But I think if they could have tried to even lean towards the wall slightly more, just inside the building, maybe they could have. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't think it's still tough, because this AoE probably would hit them anyway if they would sit inside. Yeah, but this is heavily so important to just use the corners. You don't just want to use your hammer out in the open unless there's a big reason for it. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff happening, and the enemy using their ultimates, like Lunar Snow. Maybe there's a Winter Soldier, so there's high chance to lose the fight, but it's all right. We can try to retake space again and make sure we're fighting for the most powerful positions first. We have our own ultimate, and it is a tank. I always tell that you need to also find the proactive. Find a proactive way to use your ultimate, I think. Instead of maybe waiting for the enemy to do something, rather just try to force something. Yeah, make sure I'm forcing the defensive ultimates, or maybe I just force the enemy team to rotate somewhere in unfavorable space, okay? And as Thor, because you have a lot of mobility, a lot of your tanking is really going to be how can you divert the attention so the rest of your team can push in the front lines. See, so first off, they set up on the high ground. This is a angle going to be more flanky ish one, which allows to divert the most of the attention. The guys shooting the Thor, and the rest of their team is just gonna push. They will try to set up the ultimate. And see, to be able to set up the ultimate, you really need to be confident that the rest of your team is pushing. That's why they're looking over here. See, they're not just going in right away. They're confirming. Let's confirm what's going on, and later I can look to go in. Yeah, we might die and everything, and maybe that's not gonna work sometimes because your frontline pressure is just maybe somebody gets picked off, but you're doing your job. You're doing your job in a space where your team is going in. And a Thor, you also got to keep in mind that you can do a lot of damage to isolated squishes. So that's what they're trying to do. If they slow down the Lunar Snow here, technically, if they ult, they can just kill the Lunar Snow instantly. They cannot run away from it, basically. It's just there's a lot of pumped healing into them. They actually kind of, they almost, yeah. So like what happened there? I think they just got a hit. They got a hit at slightly. Let's just say positioning. Yeah, positioning of your bubble is probably gonna be kind of slide in the middle more. That's what maybe it not allows to get a kill. But yeah, there's still quite a lot of damage. Yeah, they die, but see, their team's taking space. Their team's taking space. I think this is the most essential, and maybe. It might seem like, okay, like, it's really bad to die, like a lot of people say. Your death is not ideal. You always want to watch your death. But see, this is always... watch your words with respect of how much value I'm getting. If you're able to win the fight, and you're able to force out more important cooldowns from the enemy team, then this is what matters the most. And as a Thor, we just gotta abuse the fact we got mobility, and sometimes, well, might die in those cases, but it's alright. Yeah, hope that makes sense. And yeah, sweetie, on any high mobile character, I'm always trying to divert their attention. See what they're trying to do. Take an angle somewhere where the rest of my front line is pushing, and then to create the attention, the attention split. The enemy goes after me, so my team can try to push. I'm doing all the pressure. They don't use their stacks, though, awaken form, because it's a dangerous place to be at right now. But we constantly applying pressure, and see how much space we're getting right now. We got all that corner. Why? Position A is pushing here, and position B was pushing over there. This is what good timing looks like. Yep. And right now, we also got to keep in mind, what is that dangerous corner we can deal with? What is that dangerous angle we got to deal with? Probably, might be again, Namor. Oh, sorry, their team, yeah, it might be Hala, it might be Venom, maybe it can also, Winter Soldier take some sort of off angle, so they can watch out for them. But yeah, right now you have this downtime, so they can just farm ult charge. They can farm ult charge in the main. Once this is done, the poke phase is gone. They need to just deal with angles again. They either set up themselves or deal with the enemy. Or do both at the same time. That's why you see them maybe going after this guy, because they're really good. They have insane amount of mobility. They can just deal with this first off. And later, see who we have there. This is Hala on the angle too. They can just try to push that away. If you don't have a lot of resources, you can give up your position though. But if you do, if you still recognize, oh, I can do something there. This is... You still can go for the pressure. By the way, just Thor specific, but it applies to any tank. You guys can always displace an enemy and force an enemy, bait the enemy in unfavorable space. Okay? This can always be an idea. Like, why I'm saying you gotta fight with the rest of your team, because you always want to fight in some sort of kill zone. So let's say my team is at position A over there, and maybe there was a Bucky over there, our Bucky at the position B, and I'm attacking at C. If I place the enemy in that kill zone over here, this is gonna kill them, or at least force a lot of cooldowns, and this is what I want as a tank. I just want the enemy to keep busy in the kill zone. Yeah, if you want something, just connect it to the timing. Yeah, make connections to timing and positioning. This is your answer. Just understand where your kill zone is and consistently fight at that kill zone. Unless you find a good exception of trying to get a kill, or just, yeah, maybe get better cooldown trade somewhere else. But a lot of times it's just...
I have a question.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, question.
Can you clarify what conditions creates a kill zone?
Yeah, what conditions? I'm just always trying to simplify it when explaining this, because there are a lot of details, but the most simple answer is the kill zone is the area where most of my team can be active. That's about it. So if I know, and this might be not the most clear example to watch, but yeah, let's say this is somebody over here, position A. This is someone over here, B. And this is C. I want to look at the range of the characters, understand where they can do pressure based on their range, and also look at their cooldowns. And you can also look at their... I'm thinking about anything else there. Yeah, mostly cooldowns, range, and angles. Okay, let's just say angles. It's just how you set up. Okay, because your setup, it also creates that sort of threat. Like this Thor over here on the angle is more threatening compared to someone, to Thor being on the front line. Let's say that. Yeah, they can just divert more attention, maybe go on the back line, and this is always like threat condition. Okay. You just want to see where all of that pressure meets, to be honest. Yeah, so all of this is kind of, if I have this A angle and B angle here, and I'm at C, I want to ideally place an enemy somewhere like over here. You imagine there's a Dawn down there, and this is where they will push the Venom. You see this? They don't want to keep this Venom in the room. They rather just displace the Venom over here. They place it in the kill zone, so the rest of my team, they able to do something. And this is your tanking a lot of times. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, this term, by the way, I think I'm gonna do a lesson on the kill zone, like Masterclass, because there are a lot of other small things you gotta keep in mind. But this is a simple answer. Kill zone, the area where most of my team is active, can be used in any hero shooter. Actually, shooter game in general. I struggle to stay alive as Vanguard. Yeah, I'm just reading the question now. I struggle to stay alive as Vanguard to try to use my shields, but I often activate them too late, making them ineffective. I also try to use cover, but since I need to be on the front line, I'm not sure when to push and when to back off. I see other tank players surviving much longer in similar situations, but I tend to die quickly. What should I focus on to improve my survivability? First off, I definitely think the timing is one of the biggest. If you're able to tank with your team, that's what it matters. Again, you might have your teammates, some of your teammates do different things. Okay, I got a Black Panther who is in the back trying to just maybe get a kill on isolated targets. Sure, well, this happens, but just watch where most of your team is doing stuff and go there. And make sure you just set up the best position possible before. So first off, set up. Second, engage. See what this guy is doing a lot of times, yeah? They're not just sitting in the front line when the fight is about to start. They set up first, in a way, yeah? They kind of go on the angle, their own position they can take, and later, you can start doing the pressure, yeah? Either displacing the enemy or just go for normal pressure. I think the time is so crucial. There also might be a lot of other things. I know I just give you a general answer, but anyway. Yeah, I'm thinking about anything else. To be honest, it's just most of it is the timing, in my opinion. That makes sense? Yeah. If you have any other specific questions, let me know. But heavily depends on what tank you play as well, I think. Because, as I mentioned, with some tanks you have more mobility, with some other tanks you have less. You gotta keep that in mind. Oh, by the way, kid, I have a replay on... if you guys don't know, Kid is really good at... what's the name? Captain America. Okay, they're really good at Captain America. I actually have some replay of Captain America too. Do you guys want to watch that as well? It's like one of the examples of the good tanking. But if you guys want, I can just give you another one. But yeah, there's a lot of similar stuff to Thor. Some tips for Magneto. It's just been at the first stage. Yeah, a lot of this is really. I'm giving again more general lesson. Yeah, but a lot of it is just deal with important positions, make sure you synchronize the pressure with the rest of your team. As a Magneto, you have stacks. Stacks allows you to push the enemy angles. Yeah, so I see anybody who does a lot, I can just use the stacks on them. You also need to use the bubbles. On most, let's just say, use bubbles on aggression. That's it. It's either you aggressive or somebody from your teammate. The teammates stay aggressive. That's it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So how do you balance for being aggressive and passive?
A balance between aggressive and passive. I don't think you want to balance that. Okay, I would just say this. What if I want to be aggressive all the time, but do it in the right moments? That's it. So like you just thinking about the right moments because you as a tank, you need to take space first. A lot of times when people say passive, it's just, well, I'm waiting. Well, maybe you can if you treat it in a way like I want to just get my cooldowns back, then it's fine. But just recognize what tempo of the fight allows you to do. Yeah, if you have advantage, then I don't think you have to just play passively, like play defensively. Yeah, so you can just use this time to try to just try to restore your cooldowns. Try to restore your cooldowns first. But later, when there is the right moment, when most of my team is ready, I can look to go, I think. This is how I would phrase it, really. I always tell in my sessions, I always were telling people, yeah, what if you can be aggressive all the time, but you just find the right moment. And the moment can be based on the cooldowns, can be based on the timing. So, yeah, that's how I look at it, to be honest. hope that makes sense. Yeah, because this again,
Okay,
how
thank
to
you.
balance it. Yeah, because how to balance it is heavily depends on also multiple things too. Yeah, with your kit. But this is kind of again more general answer. Well, I think let's watch a little bit of cap. A little bit of cap again, same things. I will pay attention to diverting attention and fighting in the kill zone or like fighting the rest of my team. It's just 10-15 minutes, and yeah, if there are gonna be any more questions, let me guys know. Okay, I actually didn't save it in our notes. By the way, those are the notes. I'm sending those notes after every session, after every masterclass. This is gonna be in our channel so you guys can read it. All of the things went over here. And yeah, I'm also gonna save the cap. Sure, captain. Yeah, I think we're gonna use this one. Yeah, let's use one of those videos over here I got. Okay, just one moment and we can start. Okay, should be good. So as a cap, you also have a lot of mobility, and really similar to Thor, just make sure you set up first on the angle, and later you start diverting attention. But as cap, what you have though is you have a lot of defensive. You have your shield to allow you to stay in the angle a little bit longer. So I can try to dive in and actually stay. Where on Thor, you have to dive in and get out a lot of times. Or like, well, shoot, you can commit to using your Awaken for a little bit longer, but still, it's not like greedy for too long. And as a cap, you just kind of notice how they are being so annoying, just being on the back line, constantly trying to distract, divert the enemy attention. Yeah, I'm just using this recording again. Yeah, the first off, set up on the angle, using their shift to constantly get in a position. And later, see what they're doing. They're scouting most of my team. Are they ready or not? And now we're forming this kill zone over here, kind of. Well, again, your kill zone always changes. Right now, technically, kill zone is right there because most of my team is just able to do stuff. But later, it will move towards over here. So going from this to this, and I just want to have the best angle possible first. So yeah, right now I'm just investing my mobility, investing all of the kit I got. Now, I was not poked out. I have all of my resources. I can try to engage and divert the attention. See, as that character, go on the back line. The rest of my team is able to do stuff. So it creates some sort of pincer. Yeah, if you guys know terminology is I go here and those guys are pressuring from B, and this creating the pincer just keeps the enemy team stuck in the kill zone. This is what I want as a tank. I want the enemy team to be stuck by using defensive or offensive cooldowns in that kill zone area. That's about it. Okay, so we're gonna watch them kind of. They went to the back line, but they realized, okay, there's a lot of attention on me. Let's try to stay alive again, heavily using cover, their defensive cooldowns. Just saying, they recognize, okay, they can get out this. It's a Rocket Circuit beacon, yeah. And now, again, just go back to the pressure. Honestly, micros, all of that doesn't matter. Obviously, we can also dive into that, but this is just another thing. It just doesn't matter what you do, but as long as you tank in the right space and you diverting the attention in the correct way, this is ideal. Why they get out though? Because they're low in defensive. Like maybe I think there was a previous question. How do I balance between being aggressive and passive? Yeah, maybe if that's what you mean here. I got the example when I'm going in, I'm using my cooldowns, but simply if I don't have most of my cooldowns now, I just gotta get out. If you can, try to get out somewhere on let's just say valuable angles. You want to get out on valuable angles, but if not, then at least go towards your teammates. Here they recognize maybe the situation is not allowing them to just go and sit in the back. Like you saw that before. They've actually been able to maintain this flank angle. If you're able to, this is more ideal, I think. If you have more mobility on the character, try to do that. But if not, then just go towards your team at least. Okay, let's just skip. Okay. So they keep applying pressure, diverting the attention, and just really distracting. As a cap, you don't have a lot of damage output either. That's really important. So if you make the enemy team divert at you, so your team can take space, this is really nice. And see, this opens up opportunities for my teammates to do something. Bucky gets a kill. Maybe there's going to be Namor who's going to do more stuff. Like my Groot can take space. It's not guaranteed, again, it's not guaranteed, but if you're doing your job, you increasing the chances of this happening. You don't want to protect your team, like some people would say, oh, you gotta protect your team by sitting with them, but this is not true. Protect your team through the active pressure you can do on the character first, most of the times, okay? Of course, there are also times when we can just stuck with the team a little bit, yeah, but mostly it's just us trying to divert the attention. By the way, you notice here, they kind of ignored the setup there, but why? Yeah, because there's just more opportunities. Maybe if you recognize that's one of the easy opportunities for you to get a kill, maybe there's someone isolated, maybe there's just someone who's out of position. I can kind of try to ignore the setup in this case a little bit more, but yeah. It's like a lot of your tanking is just do it in the right space, first of all. Okay, now they got more advantage, so they can keep taking space and just keep pushing, but you don't want to overdo it. Again, most of my resources should be ready for the time when most of my team is active. That is how you balance between aggressive, passive, yeah? I can be aggressive a little, maybe try to poke out the enemy, but make sure most of my resources are back when most of my team can be active. Like right now, I'm taking space, going for somewhere, just trying to tank there, okay? And yeah, I think this might be a little bit far, but yeah, this is possible because the rest of the team, I think they're also able to catch up with them. Yeah, like they're Groot over here. Still, I think this is slightly a little bit too much, but yeah, sure. Well, sometimes might be possible too. If we can just try to go somewhere. I think they try to go on the top right angle. Just again divert the attention a little bit. Yeah, making sure the rest of my front line can push through here, the main lane, while we just diverting the attention from somewhere else. Okay, let me see if there are any questions, and yeah, we'll be answering. What tanks you would recommend to main to carry the team up to diamond? Tanks you enjoy the most. I'm not a big fan of just saying, oh, this tank is meta, play this tank. I'm a more of a guy, like, you can play whatever you want. Play D tier character, but doesn't matter, you're gonna get more value if you enjoy playing that character. Because I've seen so many examples, and yeah, it's actually what's gonna help you the most, to just climb the character, be motivated when you play the character. Just play what you enjoy, honestly, that doesn't matter what. Overall, yeah, that's my answer to you, to be honest. So if I'm main Magneto, can I solo tank, or do I need another? You can't do that. It's not like it's not possible. It's gonna be harder to solo tank if I don't have a second tank, but it's alright. You're still able to solo tank. Just understand how you adjust your playstyle depending on situation, and you're gonna be fine. Let me see, the second question also. Yeah, that makes sense. It's hard because in game I end up using the shield. Oh, okay, so you was answering the kid. Yeah, recommended seconds. What do you mean? Can you... Oh, you talking about the second tank? Well, if you play Magneto, if you enjoy playing Magneto's kid, I would preferably... Well, to be honest with you, this is how I would think. If you're really aiming for something long term, I usually suggest players try to have something like a more dive option, just with some sort of mobility, some option where you can just poke out the enemy, trying to just have long range character, and another option can be having some sort of brawl tank. If you have those three types of characters, I think you should be able to climb comfortably in any situation. That's what I would suggest, to be honest. But because the game is, again, the game is developing, the game is quite new, I think you can play whatever you want for now. It's not as heavily dependent right now to just have brawl, dive, and poke character in your kit. So Venom or Cap? Well, I would say so, but it depends on, again, you just want to try out stuff and see what works for you, I think. Cap, Thor, and Venom things. Yeah, exactly. So I think one of those tanks would be good. Is a dive and kind of brawl, because there's some, let's just say, not all the characters they're exactly leaning towards one category. You have a lot of versatility with the characters. Like with the Cap, I got a little bit of dive capabilities, and I also got some brawl capabilities. Brawl is all about sustain. Dive is all about mobility, and poke tanks, so like poke characters in general, it's all about long range pressure. Constantly just taking those long fights, long range damage. Okay? And there are a lot of characters with which you might notice they're all kind of type of capabilities, but some of the characters they just lean towards one category more. That's how I would phrase it. Okay? Kind of off topic, but how do you deal with dive tanks like that distracting your team? Just find out how you're able to do your own pressure first. Be effective with that. Do your job. Don't try to chase them down all the time, unless they're out of position, of course. But if you're able to do your job, then it's fine. Again, depends on what character you play. Yeah, for example, if I am playing Squirrel Girl, I think I'm fine actually trying to just keep an eye on the dive characters, because I can place the traps to just disrupt them. Yeah, maybe if I play Punisher, I can try to poke out them a little bit more. But again, it's just you need to watch out what's convenient for you to shoot at the moment. It's not like it is constantly dive character on my backline, I gotta chase them down constantly. Yeah, just find the best times to shoot them. Usually the best times for you is before they dive you. If you're just able to poke out them early, like I can poke out Spider-Man or I can poke out Thor, just do not allow them to get close, and or maybe let's just say do not allow them to have full cooldowns before diving you. That's how you deal with them. Okay, if you just searching for a general answer, yeah, this is it. Mostly it's just poke them down before. You can anticipate where they're gonna land as well. Like on Squirrel Girl, yeah, you can place the traps. Super, thank you for the answer. Yeah. Let me see if there's any other questions. Yeah, guys, I think we're about to end, because yeah, I gotta go really soon. But maybe if you have any questions, you can just unmute and I'll answer. Yeah, we use the examples today. So far, our summary is this: all of the notes are here. So first off, synchronizing with the rest of your team. Second, fight for power positions. If that makes sense, just fighting for important angles on the map. And then we're able to just do something. Just make sure when you fighting with your team, you synchronize pressure with all of them. Watch for exceptions. If you're able to get an easy kill, then go for it. But mostly, yeah, I'm just trying to synchronize the pressure with the rest of my teammates. And using cover. Yeah, using cover is a big thing on any tank. Well, but I'm just saying it because your cover, it's your first defensive cooldown. And as a tank, your defensive are so important because those are allowing you to absorb pressure. And if you don't have defensive cooldown up, then you cannot tank. So I want you to really think about how you use cover first. So it's usually cover first, shield bubble, or use your mobility later. Stuff like that. Okay, any questions? Thank you, Coach Efest. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm glad to be helpful. And as always, if there are any questions, just tag me. Sometimes I still watch the questions in the chat in the server. But yeah, if you want me to clarify something, I will be glad to do that. Gonna practice this materials in comp? Yeah, 100%. Well, you will. Oh yeah.
I do have one thing. I play Penny mostly. I don't know if you covered over her much.
No, not today. Yeah, at least not today. Yeah. Yeah. What is the question?
Never mind. I'll worry about it later.
That's okay. No, if you have any question for Penny, I will be glad to answer too. To be honest, but overall, if you just want to, I think two most essential things on Penny is just making sure we're trying to keep an eye on same stuff we talked about, active angles, but place your minds there. If I'm controlling space, I know, okay, somebody's gonna come out from the angle. Maybe there's magic, maybe there's Spider-Man. I'm placing my traps over there, placing my mines. It can also be you trying to predict, because you don't have as much mobility, but you have this grapple. Yeah, I can grapple between the important locations. Just make sure you have this mind map of what the enemy might do. So you will just go from one angle to another real quick, and we'll try to just keep the enemy busy. I think if some of you guys did the what reviews with Cringe Alarm, yeah, I think there was a Penny one trick. They're really good at using the space, like green close space on the maps, and this what allows them to not take as much damage, again synchronizing with the enemy, with your team, and just absorbing pressure, valuable pressure. This allows them to easily control space. As a cap player, I know like Penny too. Yeah, exactly. Penny is one of those characters where you able to shut down the divers because you just can poke them out early and also disrupt when they're diving. You can just CC them, right? This is really strong. Like again, as a squirrel girl, I can also do the same. I can throw the trap, but the Penny is even more annoying, I think. Poke damage capabilities and just all of this trying to just throw the CC at the divers as well. This is really annoying. As a diver, you don't want to be CC'd. You want to get in, get out. Get in, get out. Exactly. Yeah, so many spider traps. Exactly. And stun webs. Okay, I think I'm gonna end for today. And I will save the recording as usual. I'm glad to have you here, guys. And yeah, if you have any questions later, let me know. I think the next masterclass, I will try to focus on one of the topics we discussed today. Maybe it's kill zones, maybe it's something else. I'll think about that, or maybe we'll do the masterclass on DPS. But yeah, I will think about that. I have PTSD of being a 700 HP tank and getting one tapped before the fight starts. Well, well. If you getting one shot, if there's just a lot of damage in you, but meanwhile your team is able to do something, you might get something out of it. But yeah, just watch the cover. Oh, you're talking about the mines. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I got it. Yeah, the penny. Yeah, the penny does a lot of those too. When will what be available? I think today. I post everything in YouTube as well as a link. Just so you guys know, the video link is always on here. But yeah. All right, I'm gonna end for today. I will see everyone at the next masterclass, and yeah.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm glad to have you here, guys, today as well. And good luck in the games.